listening, from all leadership capacities, probably is the one that's most underrated. Everyone talks about vision and about this and about that, but listening is really at the source of all great leadership. Whenever I see leadership failures, and these days we have many occasions to do that, very often at the source of leadership failure is what? It's lack of listening. It's lack of connecting with what's really going on in reality right now. It's a disconnection between leaders on the one hand and the situation on the ground on the other. So listening really is a core skill, not only for leadership, but really for all domains of mastery, of professional mastery. So we all practice listening 16 plus hours a day. So it's not something that we only engage with every now and then. And it is as important for our professional work as it is for our professional life as it is for our personal life. So I observed listening for many years, and I came up with a very simple distinction, which is 4 different levels of listening. So here's the first level. The first level is basically listening by what I call downloading, right? Downloading is basically that from your habits, you listen to what you already know. And the result, not that this is a surprise, but the result, of course, in that case is that you reconfirm what you already know. You reconfirm your opinions and judgments. And here's how this first level of listening by downloading works. Let's say this circle here represents the totality of what I know. It's the black circle is the boundary of my organization, of my concept, everything I know. And the red dot is the place from where my listen happens. So when I listen from the center of my own prison, what is it that I recognize? What is it that I'm listening to? I pay attention to what I already know. It's like projecting my own slides on the wall. So I'm in a closed room, all the windows are closed, all the curtains are down, and everything I see is limited to what I am projecting, my own concepts, my own slides, what I am projecting onto the wall. I'm not saying what you are projecting is not good or not appropriate. All I'm saying it's not what's really going on outside. It's a result from your experiences of the past. It's reflecting the past, not the present moment. And it's something that you project onto the wall. That's listening 1. The outcome is we reconfirm what we already know. Here's listening 2. Listening 2 is factual listening. And the essence of factual listening is that we notice what's different, right? We are noticing differences. We access the open mind. And the outcome is that we, notice disconfirming data. We notice what is actually different from what I expected to see. Charles Darwin was known to always have a notepad on him where he would write down observations that contradicted his theory, because he knew exactly what our mind is doing. When we notice something that doesn't fit our theory, is in contradiction with that, our mind is over time getting rid of everything that's not confirming what we expect to see. So, but he knew that disconfirming data is actually the source of innovation. So that's why he wrote that down, and it helped him to evolve his own theory. So here's what factual listening is. It's, you get up, you go to the window, you open the curtain, and you actually look what's going on outside. You watch what's going on outside. That's factual listening. Now that's what we train in all good science is. All good science is, notice disconfirming data. But for all of you, for all of us who deal with complex social change processes, this is not good enough. There are two additional sources of listening that are very critical and that need now our skills in intentional skill development. The third level is empathic listening. It's listening with an open heart as an organ of perception, which leads to seeing the situation through the eyes of another, and which also leads to to an emotional connection kind of to the other person that's not going away very quickly. So empathic listening is allowing you to step to connect with the experience kind of another person. And when I asked a cognitive psychologist, what really is happening here when you access this deeper way of operating, she said, listening begins to happen from the field or from the other person that you are connecting with. So this is what happens. Your listening begins to happen from the place from where that other person is speaking from, articulating from. That's listening 3. Now, so far, I haven't said anything new. Kind of all of that is well known. That doesn't mean that we do it, but it's all of that is well known. Here's the one thing that maybe is new, and that has to do with the fourth level of listening, generative listening, which requires us to connect with our open will, that is our capacity to let go and let come, and that leads to connecting with an emerging future possibility that is helping us to connect more fully with our real source of who we are and who we want to be. So you know whether or not you are operating on level 4, listening, when you watch your level of energy and when you watch whether or not your sense of self, your sense of identity has shifted a little bit towards the person who you really are and who you're moving towards. So what are examples for level 4 listening? It's great coaches, right? A great coach is listening to you, is listening to me, not only in terms of listening to all my struggles and empathizing with them. No, a great coach is listening to my current struggles in terms of noticing already the arrival of my highest future possibility. So connecting, seeing in me my tomorrow self, my emerging future self, and by paying attention to it, helping me to actually connect with that. So that's what great educators do. That's what great leaders do. They don't see you in terms of only your past, but they see you in terms of your highest future possibility. And that's kind of what this fourth level of listening is about.